I'm chilling, man.
Powerlifters on dudes. Nah.
I got a little bit shady. It's all about.
At least we look at it. Is that it?
6-minute cooldown. You need it.
I'm good, sir.
Na 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 na. So that was basically how the week went. A little high intensity cardio, some Indian food, and a lot of weightlifting. And I have been doing a lot of high intensity cardio. Reason being because I actually want to be halfway decent at it by the time I start my prep. Pretty much the only form of cardio I will be using during my prep is high intensity cardio. Reason being because usually I only require 2 to 3 sessions, actually really only 2 sessions per week to get into the shape I need to be come contest time. Um, and since I'm going to be doing so little cardio and usually most of my sessions are no longer than 15, 20 minutes, I might as well get the most bang for my buck from my cardio. So I'm practicing now, and it's also going to help me maintain my current body composition. So I don't really want to get any fatter than I am right now. This, I think, is a really good starting point for my contest prep in January, and throwing a little cardio into the mix is definitely going to help with that. But yeah, everything is looking really good. Shoulders are feeling very healthy. I think those were 90-pound dumbbells on the floor press for something like 16, 17 reps. Don't really remember. But yeah, everything is starting to click, and it couldn't have come at a better time. And everything's feeling good enough to the point where I'm even throwing in some weighted dips here and there. So yeah, very optimistic about just what kind of final improvements we can make on my physique during these closing months of my off season. And that's one thing I wanted to share with you guys after we go through all this footage. I wanted to go through basically what my plan is going to look like from this point on. And as of right now, I was really for upping my training frequency. I was going to do things basically, I think I had committed, halfway committed. I had been toying with the idea of hitting body parts 3 times a week. But the thing is with that kind of frequency, my workouts tend to drag. They tend to be a little longer than I would like, and then I don't get to hit each body part with the amount of volume that I think at this point in my training career they require. So I kind of abandoned that, and I'm going back to what was working because I think my last plan was actually working really well. It was that fine balance where I'm hitting things as frequently as they need to be hit, and then also it's I'm giving myself enough time to the point where the connective tissue, the other stuff that doesn't heal quite as rapidly or recover quite as rapidly as muscle, gets to keep up with it too. And I think that's something with about high frequency that seems to be forgotten, is that yes, for the most part I can hit most muscle groups if I use the right amount of volume and I undulate my reps correctly every other day. But I think what kind of seems to be forgotten here is the other stuff that helps in these movements. Everything that isn't your muscles, your tendons, ligaments, all that stuff. So I've been my health has been improving during these last few weeks here, and I kind of want to keep that going. So I'm going to pull back and I'm going to stay on my current routine, and not only that, but I kind of want to give you guys a run through of what it is that I'm doing at this point in time with myself. And as you're going to see, it's not too complicated. It's quite simple actually. Again, like I said, it's just it's a very simple play, but but a lot of consistency and effort behind that plan. So here it goes. As a brief outline of what the rest of the off season looks like. So the split, very simple. It's a Monday through Friday split. It's just what's easiest for me right now. So Monday lower, Tuesday push, pull, lower, and then another upper body day on Friday. So these tend to be the heavier days, and then this right here is pretty much just volume and fluffy stuff. The upper body day often becomes a pull day if I work out with Jeff on Friday, and what I'll do is I'll either do my push stuff earlier in the day, and then just have the second half of the workout with Jeff where it's only a pull day, or sometimes I'll have it on Saturday if the schedule permits. But that's what the split looks like for the most part. Really simple. One of these days I'm going to have to break down what every single day looks like, just so that you guys, not so that you guys do exactly what I'm doing, because I would not recommend that, but so that you can maybe borrow an idea or two from what I'm doing in the gym. The max. So what are max? So in the hood, that's what we call macros. So when I walk down the street here in South Sacramento, that's what they ask me. They're like, "Hey, Berto, where your max at?" Max are at, I'm kidding, they're at 100 to 110 grams of fat, 500 to 550 grams of carbs, protein between 220 to 250. I'd say that for the most part, I'm about 85 to 90% good on these, unless we have a lot of pumpkin pie or carrot cake in the kitchen, then I kind of slip a little bit, but still off season. And once a week, what I will do is I'll kind of have a day where I will bump both of these up just a little bit. How much and if I do it at all really depends on how the whole training week went. Do I feel like I'm ahead of schedule when it comes to my recovery? Do I feel like I'm pretty full and ready to take on Monday's lower body day? Because I guess you could say my off-season high day is typically on a Sunday, and you know, it just really depends. If, for example, I'm feeling pretty good, maybe I might just skip out on it and just keep the same intake. If I feel like I need some extra food, maybe I'll bump this up by 100 grams, another 20 grams here, sometimes even more. It really depends on how I'm doing when it comes to a few different variables. But once a week, we'll kind of jack up the intake just a little bit. Because this right here is kind of sort of, it's on some days it's a slight surplus, on some days it's about maintenance, and then on other days it might even be a small deficit. So it's not like I'm running a crazy high steady surplus on all days of the week. So every once in a while we do got to bump up food, and it's a nice way to kind of fit in not only of course Sunday football, but also all the treats that come with that, but also a dinner date with Melissa or something like that. The goals. So really quickly, the goals are to kind of maintain this weight. I don't want to get any heavier because guess what? It's just going to make the contest that much harder. And at a certain point, it's not about how much you gain, but how much you can keep. And this goes again for not just muscle and performance, but also how much of your mind you can keep. And then I have a very personal goal when it comes to the deadlift. The deadlift, I want basically 90 total reps with loads over 500 pounds before the year's over. So on a workout where maybe I did 500 for a 5x5, that's 25 reps. So it's not that crazy. It sounds pretty insane, but not really. And last but not least, stay healthy. We've been doing a good job of that, and I just want to keep it that way. So that's what it looks like right now, and I think these are some good goals to have as we close in this last leg of my off season.